Hello, this is Deborah Yao with Black Education TV. Briefly, I'm going to be discussing the whole teaching that comes from a lot of the Israelite camps and assemblies that states that you are what your father is. We've covered that before on the Watchman Reports channel as well as this channel, but there's another element that I'm going to be bringing into this, and we will do a more in-depth lesson or teaching on this on the Watchman Reports channel at some point. But real briefly, I'm going to talk about another element that has not been considered. First of all, the main passage of Scripture that many are using to state that you are what your father is in Numbers, the first chapter, where it talks about establishing the pedigree after the father. But what many don't realize or bring into the whole conversation is that this was an assembly of the Israelites, where the Israelites were coming together. This was not an assembly of everyone in the world, of every nation. This wasn't an assembly that included people outside of the Israelites. There were no Palestinians or Philistines there. There were no Canaanites, no Egyptians, no children of Ham, no Edomites, no Moabites. They were not present at this meeting. This was a meeting of the Israelites. So when they were speaking, they were basically saying that your pedigree is going to be established after your father's house if you have a situation where an Israelite man from the tribe of Judah has married and bore children with an Israelite woman from the tribe of Gad, or from the tribe of Naphtali, or from the tribe of Simeon. Since we were talking about Israelites in this assembly, they were saying, among the Israelites, whomever you marry outside of your father's tribe, within the tribes of Israel only, then is going to default to the father's seed. Let me give you another example. If the man or the father was from the seed of Simeon and the woman was from the seed of Judah, their children would be from the seed of Simeon. Okay, that's what that passage is talking about. It is not all inclusive of people all around the world. If you marry someone from the Nordic tribe, the Nordic people, that your child is going to be an Israelite if the man was an Israelite. That is not what it's saying. It's not saying if the man was an Israelite and the woman was, let's say, Korean, North or South Korean, that the child is going to be an Israelite. That is not what it's saying. But here's the other element that I want to add into the equation to present a challenge to those of you who teach that you are what your father is. This is a whole other thing, and we're reading from the Testament of Job on this. In the Testament of Job, this is Job reading, and he says this. He says, I am your father Job. Now, before I read, for those of you who don't know, Job had a wife in which he lost all of his children. Everything he had was gone, was taken from him because of the challenge that Hashatan, or Satan, presented to the Most High. All of those children were wiped out. They were killed. Okay. And that wife was no more as well. For those of you who don't know, Job later married Dinah. Okay, I'm going to read this passage so that you'll understand in context that I'm not referring to the children that were killed. Okay. This is what Job says. He says, I am your father Job, fully engaged in endurance. But you are a chosen and honored race from the seed of Jacob, the father of your mother. For I am from the sons of Esau, the brother of Jacob, of whom is your mother Dinah from. So it looks like Job, and I'm going to read this again. He says, I'm your father Job, fully engaged in endurance, but you are a chosen and honored race from the seed of Jacob, the father of your mother. For I am from the sons of Esau, the brother of Jacob, of whom is your mother Dinah. Now that was from the testament of Job. It sounds as if Job's children that he had with our four-sister Dinah are being called Israelites, being named after the seed of their father, the honored race. It says, but you are a chosen and honored race from the seed of Jacob, the father of your mother. Are you all paying attention to this? So there's this huge argument that many brothers are putting forth to say that you are what your father is if you marry and have children with a woman outside of the Israelites. But this passage says something totally different. It's showing that the children of Job are being called after their mother's seed, being called a chosen and honored race from the seed of Jacob, the father of your mother. Now that gives you something else to think about. So, family, let's have a discussion on that. What are your thoughts on that? Because we already know that the passage used in Numbers that the brothers are trying to use to justify marrying strange women is being taken out of context. We know that. That is for sure. They're using it to justify when the scripture actually tells you. There are passages that tell you if you are one of the men of Israel and you have children with strange women, women outside of the Israelite women, the scripture gives strict instructions on what is to happen with those marriages and those unions. But this passage we just read out of the Testament of Job, in which if you have a pseudepigrapha, you can find that, the Testament of Job in your pseudepigrapha, where Job actually states that the seed is after the mother. Okay, discussion is open. Shalom.